Thank you for listening to Depictions Media Radio. Today, we're going to hear from a quantum energy healer and facilitator, visionary speaker, spiritual intuitive, grief healer, massage and bodywork wellness educator, mountain goat, outdoor enthusiast, sun worshipping, energy bunny, health crazed, athlete, leader, mentor, friend, and that's only who she is personally. We're going to speak with Colleen Wynia today, and her professional message is, I am a Reset Your Vibe energy coach in British Columbia, and I am passionate about living, teaching the fundamental principles of quantum physics and its relationship to the universal law of attraction. As energy beings, we are constantly vibrating at a frequency matching our beliefs, sending out energy signals that attract everything into our lives. All experiences and tangibles, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Welcome to the show, Colleen Wynia. Okay. So, welcome back, Colleen, because, hey, we've been friends for a long time. And you want to talk to everybody today about secrets to energize your intuition, to make better, wiser decisions that will help grow your business and harmonize your life at the same time. So that affects just about everybody in our audience today that are listening. Because either they're trying to grow their business, or they've grown their business so far that their life is like totally out of whack, and they need to get it back in balance again, right? And we know that you're the quantum energy expert who like balances our life out, right?
Yes, that's a beautiful, nice term to say. Balances or bounces my life out.
yeah. It's like sometimes our life is just bouncing too far in the wrong direction, and we need that hand to dribble us back where we need us again, right?
I love you, Michael. Yes, that is a great description of opening up. Does anybody ever feel like they're being bounced all over the place, like a bouncing ball? Yes. Is that you?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're being torn and, and pulled in all these multiple directions and your head's spinning?
Oh my God. To be totally honest with you, yeah, sometimes I do, because, like I'm the talk show host, and I'm also like the corporate head of Depictions Media, and I'm also one of the video and sound editors. So yeah, it's like, and you can see all the stuff that gets piled up all over my desk. And then sometimes I have to neglect my wife, right? And that's bad when you neglect the spouse, right?
Yes, you're falling into the very I say trap, but really it's all of us fall into those patterns of, there's really no balance. Balance is I think is something we're always aiming towards, and more it's about wakening up to each moment to assess, where am I in my practice. I have a teaching I base things around called the 5-point star system. So everyone imagine a star, and you can think of this to some degree like the circle of life, or the pie. Like where Michael, there's your family, so in my 5 point star system that's specific to help people energize their pathway to bring more clarity, confidence, and creativity
Yeah.
and really crystallize their life. But just like a pie, you are times where you give more love and attention to your wife, which falls in your family category.
Right.
And other times, when that pie gets eaten up too much and depleted, yeah, you want to be ahead of the game here a little bit before it gets that low
Right.
and that plate gets empty. So it is finding about that. But I just want to acknowledge that we're all talking about the word balance, and I
Okay.
don't think that's really
Colleen,
achievable.
your volume did its thing again. I don't know what's going on.
Michael, yours has been going in and out as well while you were talking, like from my listening, but I figured maybe it's just Zoom when I was listening.
Wow. Okay, hang on.
I've got my mic on, just like I'm not touching anything.
Mm-hmm.
My mic is in front of me here. It's on. Could be Zoom.
Could be. Hmm.
What do you think?
Hang on a second. Test, test. Maybe it's something to do with.
Yeah, like there's a delay when I'm watching you, but I don't know if that's again just me observing
Oh,
you.
wait. I think. Okay. Hmm. Testing. Okay, I got. Oh. Testing. Okay. I think I figured it out. Okay. All right.
Can you
Let's
hear
start
me
that.
okay?
Yeah, now I hear you again.
Okay.
All right. Shall we start over again?
Yeah, sure. I'll follow your lead.
Okay. We're going to start from. Uh,
Get me laughing again. That's a good start.
yeah, it's always getting you laughing. Yeah. We're going to start from finding your 5-star program to helping us find balance.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So you want me to? I'm a
Yeah.
little confused
Okay.
where we are now.
I'm going to count you in. Okay. And we're going to start describing your 5-star balance thing again. Okay.
Okay,
And
that'll help me. Give me
okay.
some direction.
All
Okay.
right. Okay. In 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay. Go ahead.
All right, let's talk about the 5 point star system as a tool for checking in with yourself. Basically, my 5 point star system is something that gets more released, when we work together, but it has been created approach, a created system, something that empaths, intuitives, sensitives, creators, like everybody can tap into. And it's part of something that is based in. So imagine, let's just dive in. So we're talking about a 5 point star. So everybody imagine a 5 point star, and in the middle is your energy field. this is the place where energy is everything, right? So how you feel is everything, how your alignment, all the things that we do from, meditation to transformational work to really align and live our most authentic, highest purpose life, right? It's all based in energy. So, my number one teaching is we need to always come back to that energy. It is absolutely our guidepost. And one of the fastest ways, and some creators may, practitioners, educators may feel a little bit differently, but I do believe we start in the heart and we start with how we feel. Because when we start with how we feel, and then we work with mindset and directions, and then we can release that which is holding us back. But the 5 points are, in a nutshell, is basically there's 5 points on the star and they represent your life, kind of like a pie of life. There's express, move, prime, align, and monetize. So what does that all mean? Well, what happened years back when I realized that my emotions were overtaking me and I always judged them as so getting in my way in terms of that's my superpower. Mm-hmm. I realized over teaching with clients for 20 years, helping them go through transformation, that every client, every challenge, whether it was a money challenge rooted in their business challenge, not making sense here too much, but whatever the challenge you have, it's health related, relationship related, business related, creator is stuck, it stems back to how you feel. So if I brought my client back to assess where they are in the now on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being amazing, and Michael, 1 being, not so good, even work with clients who've wanted to, take their life, where you are today. So let's use Michael, for example. Michael, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like awesome, and 1 being not so great, bottom of the barrel, where are you feeling in your heart today?
I'm actually at about a 7 today.
Oh, okay, great. So 7, that's a pretty good number. It's not neutral, definitely not quite where where would you like to be?
Well, I'd like to be towards the end of the day, and most of this is going to wrap around the idea of clarity. But I like to at least end the day at a 9, because it always feels good to when you get ready to cuddle up in bed and everything, that you know that you did something right.
Oh, I
And you
love that.
can
So
rest, right?
what's the clarity piece you're seeking?
um, right now we have uh, and I'm kind of pre-announcing two documentaries they were working on, and they're both wrap around kind of around human rights and social abuse. One is actually about domestic violence, and the other one is about a gentleman who he he was trying to safeguard his place of worship to the and he defended it to his death. And this is a number of years ago, and they did a rededication, and I'm re-editing the documentary around
Of
his
a
death.
dedication to his dad?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Ah.
And it's kind of emotional because
Yeah.
The the gentleman is a true hero. You know what I mean?
So kudos to you. What I'm hearing is both the domestic documentary and the one dedication to the dad stir up your emotion in your heart. And so it's going to be really important for you as you create and as an editor and you put these pieces together to love and nurture your heart, to really honor yourself at the end of the day. And as and if feelings come up for you, right? So in order to have the best, highest quality product that you serve your clients and you make them feel good as well, you want to take care of your feelings along the way. I'm just using that as an example. Or that as you're in the creating these documentaries, they can trigger past wound states that might be a place that stirs up something that stems directly from your own life as a, as a child, as a young man, as a in past lives. So I just want to thank you for sharing with me your creation. So in the first, in my 5-point star system, everybody falls into something where you're stronger in some areas at one point in your life and you're not so strong in other areas. And so when clients work with me, I can very quickly, as anyone can say, what's going on for me in their mind state. We start with a 5-point star, just to kind of get an idea where they're at. And the 5-point star is like, you either follow, there's express. These are all points that are required for us to, to go deeper with ourselves and to open up our intuition and to allow ourselves to really be that creator and spread our wings and to attract the love that we want. We want to feel good. So if someone's having a hard time in the express point, emotional freedom is where we need to spend time on the emotional part. And that's like one of the phases that's covered so deeply and so rewarding in my program, Crystallize Your Vision. The next point on the star, Michael, is about moving your, so back to the express, it's about releasing pent up things that are in your way and clearing through different methods to free your system and free your body. I've been doing that with clients for a long time. So on the second point on the star, like, Michael, this is the place where you literally want to move your body. And you know how what do you do to move your energy, move your body? To get, creativity flowing, or to calm your system, or to energize yourself? Like, do you have something different things you like to do to move? I know you're here interviewing me, but
Well,
this is fun.
well, yeah, I literally get up and walk. I'll walk around
Okay.
the block if I have to.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And sometimes you literally have to do it now.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Because if you can feel something really rising, it's like you need to move your body or shake things off. So there's so many different forms of movement, and the moving of energy, the breath work. There's multiple things that we need to pay deeper, clearer attention to our body, and when it's asking us to move, also when it's asking us to stop.
Yeah. Now, on that one, sometimes in the creative process, it sometimes uh, I also go by this saying of, sometimes when the going gets rough, the tough take a nap.
Oh, I love that. Yes, you know what? And that's
But
really powerful.
sometimes that's what you need to do, right?
Yeah, that's a real big teacher. It's a huge, big, it's one of the ways of loving yourself. It's one of the ways of calming your, neural system and that anxious energy and that doingness, So with Move, for example, when in my program, one of the things that we'll do is moving can be moving your mind, like a brain dump.
Mm-hmm.
So like a brain dump, getting out of your mind, all the things, even on a piece of paper or type them all out, just dump out in your thought process what's keeping you out of sync, all the things you need to do, but then walk away from it. Like, just leave it alone, because as you recenter yourself, I teach people intuitively that which are the top 3 to go back to so easily, right? And what are the ones that are going to require your attention?
Yeah. So
You want to hear more about the star, or
keep going with the star. Yeah.
this is we draw upon the other part of the star is the prime point on the star. And the prime point on the star, Michael, that is your health and nutrition. That is really where you can't be the most amazing creator and attract what you want, the loving relationship so easily, and all of the things, unless you feel good. Right?
Right.
Again, we start with express how you're feeling emotionally and mentally. We move into moving to move the energy. Like, I'm a rebirther where I teach people for 20 years how to use the power of the breath and to heal the heart of things that are stuck. But what good is all of that if we're not tapping? And we know this. We've got incredible leaders today that are always teaching us things about health. But for me, one of the ways, Michael, that I was trapped was I was in an eating disorder for years.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. I was bulimic, and I had this tendency to go to food to cover up my emotions. So here I am stuffing my emotions that needed to be expressed more and more. That's the first point on the star. And you see how they all kind of relate. I was using food as the device to, numb myself and to not have to really feel the pain of lifetime of loss and self-sabotage and bad relationships and alcoholism and the family and all the griefs. I would sort of mush my feelings. And but the eating, when you actually have an eating disorder, let's say like I did, it turned out in that form, or my sister's was alcohol, right? There's all sorts of I don't mean like you're disordered, just that these are addictions that keep our feelings at bay. And so when I was keeping my feelings at bay, I kind of controlled them through food. But in the long run, I was actually malnourished, so
Right.
that's not a great thing for attracting more joy and all the beautiful things you want, because your body's not in a healthy optimum state. So there's all these interconnections. Like in my sister, she drank alcohol way too much, and sadly she passed away at
Oh.
35.
Mm.
And she couldn't get out of the trap of this emotional pain point that was so deeply compressed inside of her. And part of her wanted to be here and part of her didn't, right? So I understand addictions, and it all stems with blocked emotional wounds. And that's why it's so important that we're always coming back to taking how we feel. But then when we can move through that, we're nurturing our body more, and good nutrition, as our listeners know, there's good nutrition that can make us feel good, right? And there's whole foods that can align our bodies and heal our inflammation. We're not here to talk about those specifically, but I do work with some, and that is great. And we do need those. But if we have a constant, source of addiction or something that we go to, and it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means that you are hurting, and it means that you've succumbed something for so long. But remember, until we're ready, guys, until we're ready to make change, and we want to make that change, we're so freaking tired, we don't. And we have to be, doesn't matter how much we want it in our mindset, we can be so attached to something until our soul is ready to help, until we're calling in our angels and our prayers to finally, years and years later, shift this challenge for ourselves, which I'm so grateful that I finally did. But it's been a long ride, and needing to love yourself along the way has been my hardest thing, because you want to beat yourself up when you're not kind to yourself. But anyways, good nutrition is part of how you feel, right? So you come back to the center of the stars, the energy, and how you feel is everything. And when you want to open up your intuition, like my program helps my clients do, and I, help them understand intuitively that they're a powerful empath and how to tap into your intuition when you clear your body, it all comes full circle, Michael. And this leads me into, would you like to know about the fourth point on the star called
Yeah.
align?
Yeah. Let's go for that.
Okay, this is the fun part. This is, we all have our favorites. And even in my 5-point star system that I've learned that's worked to help clients use it as a system to tap into these different areas and figure out what's the area that's the lowest. What one's the 7 on the vibrational emotional scale, and what one's the 2, and where do we need to go? And we're all really tapped in, guys, right now. The conscious collective on the planet and the energies are allowing us to open up our spiritual intuition. So why I bring the fourth point of the star in now is aligning. And guys, this is aligning. There's 2 parts, that I kind of refer to, but it's aligning to attract, spiritual attunement and tap into self, source, and others. So it's alignment with yourself. It's alignment with source, the creator. It's an alignment with your relationships with others. Well, align is also aligning to trust the signs. Okay. I'm the signs teacher. This is trusting the signs of what's circling in your body every single day and getting better and better and equipped at tapping in and recognizing the signs coming from the universe.
Right.
So let me give you an example. So when Michael, you'd asked me earlier, when did, what was it about? Intuition. It's like, how did I think you and I were talking, is how did I move into the field of spiritual intuition and energy coaching, quantum
Yeah.
healing? Yeah. And what was my sign? And so basically, we're coming from a world of a corporate world as a lumber trader. It took a shaking, when you have those earth shattering movements in your life, Michael,
Yeah.
and things happen. Yes, I'm sure you could think of several hundred, maybe. I was a few key ones. That was my turning point, where I was leaning in the direction of wondering what happens when you die, ever since I was a young girl. It wasn't a scary thought. It was just like, wonder what happens when we die. I wonder where we go. And no one really had, other than church that I attended, there was no answers. And then how we started to kind of get a little more comfortable and understanding of that, my mind was opened, my heart blew open, was when my cousin Rob was 25. He was diagnosed with cancer. I was 25. He was like my bro. And my dad shortly thereafter was diagnosed with cancer. And it was tragic. It was a 2.5 year long journey for Rob, but not so long for my father. And when they both transitioned from cancer, within 9 months of each other, right, that just ripped open my heart. And what was so interesting was I'd always been empathic crybaby, never felt understood. I'd start crying before I'd get mad, maybe because tears were more acceptable than being angry, which I encourage people to allow the anger to be present, by the way. It has a gift for you. And anyways, I was hurting the loss of my loved ones, as was my auntie. But I started to have these sensations. I started to have this feeling like my loved ones are around. If anyone can attest to that, most people I talk to now, 25 years later, most people I'm drawn to, yourself included, Michael, we have these experiences where we feel like our loved ones with us or around us, or communicating with us, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so for me, it was a funny little story when these were happening. And why I bring this up and how important it is it's part of the signs. Part of aligning to yourself is noticing that these funny little things and these occurrences that might be happening to you, and you're questioning, am I going crazy? Or is this like really real? Those are my thoughts anyways. Some of you are feeling 1,000% confident already. If you're hearing this call, you may be like, yep, I'm tapped in, I'm intuitive, I'm an empath. But we still wonder sometimes, what do these messages mean? But back in the day, I would sense these experiences and it would bring a calming. The grief wasn't so heavy. And it became weird. And I had to go into exploration mode, right? So you tap in and you go and look at, well, what's going on? And no one around me could interpret they didn't know what the heck I was talking about. So I had to go outside of my input for a community or a person who could help me understand what was going on. And through all the searching, I ended up finding multiple pathways that allowed me to open up my heart more and heal while I was learning about intuition and about mediumship and, you name it, energy healing, all of these great things. And it was when the signs of my dad and my cousin would show themselves to me. So for example, I'll give this one story, everyone. It's a lot of fun. I wake up every morning to a radio station. I'm living alone. Back in the day, I would wake up to my radio, a clock radio. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
beside my bed.
Our,
And
our,
then,
our younger generation won't know what that is, but that's okay. It's
yeah,
like
when we're on video, funny enough, Michael, I still have that clock radio in my drawer. I don't want to get rid of it. It still works. I show it up on video. This is what I'm talking about. But I wake up every morning, Michael, and okay, morning number one. Oh my God, the volume's super loud. It's super loud. And I wake up and the song is really screaming at me. And I was like, weird. Guess I bumped the volume button. Turn the
right.
volume button to back down. Go to bed next morning. I'm living alone. Wake up, the volume's up again. What the heck? This goes on for, put the volume button down. This goes on for 2-3 days. And each time it happened, something awakens inside of Colleen here. And it's like a questioning, a sensation. I relate it to my cousin Rob. And I started to wonder if maybe it was him. And I related it to this was electrical frequency way of signs from our loved ones communicating with us to let us, give us messages, to let us know they're there, to be their, they're rooting cheerleaders for us. But I started to think about it, and Rob's impression dropped in. And then it made sense because my cousin Rob was highly electric. He'd bounce into a room. He's like a jumping bean. And he would rap dance. He was, very active, outdoorsy, and quite the partier as well. So people loved his energy. So I'm thinking energy, bouncing, electricity, that's Rob. So the fourth morning I wake up, and this is how I'm sharing with you all how because my clients, they say, oh, I'm having these experiences. I think it's grandma. I think it's, so-and-so. Is it? Well, the first sign of this, if that person pops into your mind, Michael, is yes. I don't know how many times I've replied yes to my blog on my website that gets discovered when they Google, I think it's spirit communication, moving objects. So people go to the computer and they're like, spirit communication, moving objects. And this one blog I wrote about my dad shows up. So everyone leaves these comments and it's like, is it maybe? Is it maybe? Is it maybe? It's like, yes, because you're thinking it is. So anyways, final my story, fourth morning, wake up. You guys, the radio station is not only loud, it's a totally different radio frequency. It's a different channel. And that is huge signs of energy, right? So this is something else outside of myself that was changing the radio station. So I wake up and I rip roar laughing, and I've like, I would say 1,000%. Maybe then it was like, 90%. Yes, that's Rob. And I felt lighter, more connected, and I was able to heal my grief while I was learning mediumship. Whereas my auntie, who was suffering, wasn't tapped into the same, experiences of intuition and loved ones communicating to her, although we know they were. She was just very sad and depressed for a very, very, very long time about the loss of her nephew. So just letting people know, like there's signs can help us heal, and signs can help us have clarity of form of moving on in our lives. So that's a line point. And then the last point on the star, guys, you'll love this, is monetize. So monetize, who doesn't want more money flow and prosperity and abundance? Well, I do. How about you, Michael?
Of course, it's one of those things that it who doesn't want an easier life, right?
Ooh. Yes, exactly. And so in order to allow and accept the universe to give us more gifts of, I'll say gifts of wealth, but you can insert, what does wealth mean to you? What does wealth mean? Right. What does wealth mean to you, Michael?
Well, I'm gonna be totally honest with you, and I'm gonna say that wealth doesn't necessarily mean like the $1 billion sitting in the bank account.
Yeah.
Because what it does mean to me is being able to really have an effect on my community and my local community and my global community, which in that case, in a lot of respects, I am actually quite wealthy.
Yes, that's exactly where I'm going. So bingo, you won the prize. You answered correctly. No, I'm just joking. Right.
I love winning prizes. Yay!
you
No,
get
but
you get
seriously,
the winning you get the winning result. The windfall, the windfall. So that, yeah, you answer just how I would answer, right? So first off, monetize. So I help people monetize their life, and I help through the program monetize your creativity that magnetizes your high vibe life. Now, what does that mean? It really just means you tapping into alignment of everything. And as you work with the 5 points on the star and you get the things that are out of sync in more sync with you, right? Letting go of the things that are causing disruption and pain and disharmony in your life in all the ways. And you come more into harmonic states of being through all the ways, all the ways you're doing, all the ways other teachers teach, all the ways I teach, and give suggestions, right? I'm always like showing you suggestions and you pick and choose what works for you. That's what I'm all about, is you being your authentic sovereign being. So as we work with all points on the star, the reason the 5th point is monetized is based on my life, for example, because it's my program. It's my system, but it's not my system. It's the collective system that I've seen works for all of us. So when my clients have been struggled with money, or I've struggled with money, it's because other points on the star were out of balance. As we start to get those other parts of the star in balance, guess what happens to the money part, the wealth part, as you define wealth, as you define abundance? Again, it could
Right.
be a more richer family life, it could be more richer time to be in nature
Yeah.
and hike. Go ahead. Oh, Michael, you
Yeah,
have.
that's exactly it. Is we have to be able to define it for ourselves, and if we're truly wealthy, then we are able to define it for ourselves and not have it defined for us.
Ooh, 1,000%. You say that so beautifully. I love that. Define for without having it. Yes. So this is because you're the creator. We are the creator of us. This is where we fall short when we go into forgetful mode and we go into
Mhm.
beat ourselves up mode. Anyone do that? I do. Okay.
Hand raised.
Okay. For those of us who can't see us, Michael and I's hand are in the air. Yes, I got two.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very good at this. So this is why I'm also very good at helping people through it. I'm laughing at my own
Yeah.
tragedies become other people's wins. But
Yeah.
that, and yeah, and so then when you, those other parts of the star are getting more in system, and you guys know, when you're out of sync. I know when I'm out of sync, right? So it's not that you guys were talking about anything you don't know. You know yourself. It's just a matter of, are we ready to go deeper into that realm? And Michael, in my experience, and I know, we're filling up a lot of airspace here, but what's so important is the number one thing I want the listeners to know is, your vulnerability is your power, right? You've heard it. If you've heard it, I'm going to say it again and again for myself and others. Your vulnerability is your power. And this is your powerhouse of creation. And as you clear the mud, the sticky parts, let's say the part the clouds to see the sunshine that's always there for you and it's never left you, your angelic beings, your spiritual cheerleaders have never left you guys, then the money starts. So this is why my program was created this way, guys, is because that's what happened to me. That's what happened to my clients. We were wondering, how come we don't have more wealth and abundance, be it both money, love, all the things, balance, freedom, and, well, because I was keeping those things out, because I was still struggling with loving myself and expressing my deep and clearing my wounds. So that's why it works. So the 5 point star is an easy to follow self-empowering system that captures, all these components to revitalize your life's purpose. And I yeah, I want the best for everybody, just like Michael. I want the best for
Yeah.
my community globally, locally, and all those new friends I've not met yet.
Because they're eventually going to cross our paths, right?
Ooh, yes.
Um, so
Yes.
okay. So wh- what is it's like when people go through your entire process and they really start putting the 5-star program into um into their lives? What are some of the things that people have experienced? What have they released and what have they gained?
Ooh. Oh, yes. Okay. Um, there's a few incredible, there's quite a number of different stories that we've had with the people in the program last year. It's a newish program I created last year, developed over time. And the oh, okay, I love this story. First off, the program is called Crystallize Your Vision, right? To energize your intuition to clarity, confidence, and creativity. Okay. So think of those words: more clarity, more confidence, more creativity. Basically, it's a spiritual intuitive program. So, what people come in for and what they get are completely different, which is what I always love. So, to give you an example, Helena from Melbourne, Australia, she'd been following me for a while, getting my emails. And one day she read something that spoke to her heart. It was exactly where she was at. So she came to me, and what she went in with, asking for help in, was basically harmonizing her emotional feelings. She was overwhelmed with doing a court case. She was in the pandemic and the lockdown. Her business was being, jeopardized, her retail business, and she was trying to figure out where to go from here while helping her ability to communicate better in relationship with her family, particularly her sons. And she was just not feeling, the best. And she wasn't taking as good care of her health a little bit because of all this. What she got out of it blew my mind away, actually. She got the peace and harmony. She absolutely transformed her life in learning to love and take care of herself. The really cool thing that she did was she had on her dream board, her dream vision, a home, a land that was her dream vision home for 15 years. It's been there. During the program, she was involved in the first several weeks that she was doing the work, and she was showing up to the coaching calls, and she was doing the inner work, and she literally got an opportunity of her dream vision home, like came across her plate. She's like, oh my God, that's exactly the one that I've always seen in my life for 15 years. Now, she was a homeowner, she was on property, but this was her dream home that she could turn into a sustainable land, kind of like fend off the land and have a global community for other people to come to if they needed to, and build houses in the back, like extra space for people to live on the land with her if they need, like, just her big dream, the big dream. And guess what? The property came in. It was exactly how she pictured it. And I was like, are you serious? She's like, yes, it was like how I pictured it. It was for sale. There was a lot of demand, and she wasn't sure if she could win the bid or if she wanted to
Right.
spend that kind of money. So she went in with her open heart. She went in with the intuitive tools that I taught her, how to trust herself more, which would build her confidence in her intuitive wisdom, innate knowing ability. She followed this stuff. She practiced even when she was in this courtroom, how to send love to the judge kind of thing, which helped support what she was having a struggle with. Everything balanced out, and she got to the top two bidders. She got her, wheedled her way up. It was her and another guy. And she's like, Colleen, I don't know if I'm going to win this. I really want the land, but maybe I'm not meant to. Well, what's meant to be will be meant to be, right? You know how that goes. But she
Right.
said, I just see myself there. How do
Okay.
I make it happen? And she said, I said, well, use the things I taught you. And she said, okay. I said, you can do it. She's like, okay. And so what happened is she was trying to figure out the right number, the first number, and then he would say a number, and then she'd say one more chance, and then he'd say. She followed her own intuition. She chose the right numbers within the two bids, and she got the property at what she wanted. And she was so exhilarated. So that was a really, really big thing for her. She basically found herself and she got her dream home. One of the other girls, actually, she lost herself, her way of being. She had her profession. She had given herself to the corporate world in the adoption agency for years. Then their next stage of life, she was a caretaker for her mom until her mom transitioned. So she gave all of her energy to that. And then she'd get, to her husband. And she just came to me saying, I don't know what my heart wants anymore. I've always done for everybody else. So she took the program and it completely 180'd her life. Her whole life became now designed starting from the inside out. So she got to redesign her life by putting her needs first, and her creativity opened up. She started creating all these amazing things and healing her body. And I was just like, oh my God, this is so neat. And another woman was healing her wounds. She was a younger woman over in Victoria Island in British Columbia, in the same province here. And she came in trying to build her program, very much like this program that I've created. She was working on that, but she hadn't quite even grown her capacity to do her one-to-one coaching, to do very much one-to-one coaching. So she was struggling trying to create something, and she knew that she wasn't even attracting the kind of income she needed. And she was giving away her services for free. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's not gonna get you anywhere. So she started to work in the program, and she cleared some very deep sexual trauma wounds. So that was a big piece linked to her confidence and linked to clarity, everything. And as she started to clear what was hidden, it was information she didn't know was blocking her. She cleared the blocks through the healing and the realization. Then her business started to open up. Remember, I said monetize comes when the rest of the dots are kind of aligned, or not kind of, but more aligned. Then that's what happened for her. She cleared the wounds and the stuck things, and she had a safe space to communicate her heart and to heal and to do the things that help heal the body. Next thing you know, she was starting to charge. She had a program she was starting. She actually charged a cost, and then she doubled her fee, and then she did one more time. I think she doubled her fee again. So she started to bring in money through her own creation that she didn't before. And there's other stories like that.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the ultimate goal that you like to see happen for most of your clients?
I'd like to see them at peace and happy, actually. It's very simple. I want them to be living the life that is their design, that they determine, and we know our how we want things to be can change, right? We're in a changing world, and the collective energies are picking up speed, and it can feel like really, really heavy. So I want people to reach their highest purpose, that their soul has invited them to show up, to share their hearts and their skills and their passions, right? So with the world, and they can't do that if they're hurting. They can't do that if they're grieving, if they're anxious, if they're nervous, if they're not taking care of their body, eating whole green, organic foods as much as possible. These kind of exercising, moving energy. That's what I want them, is their absolute joy and happiness, living their highest purpose with a smile on their face and joy in their heart.
Cool. Okay, best ways to get a hold of you again are?
Couple places. The fastest way is ColleenWynia.com, ColleenWynia.com. I have a YouTube channel as well. You can Colleen Wynia, basically on YouTube. You search me that way. I'm on Instagram as Coach Instagram. And I'm on Facebook. I'm on all the different platforms, those two basic ones, I should say: LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. But that's one of the fastest ways. Go to my website, ColleenWynia.com. And if you would like to get a free copy of my e-guide, 8 Best Steps to Raise Your Vibration, and be connected to me with the newest video releases, or to be sent some information, to have a free clarity call, let's have a conversation and see if there's any way I can support you moving forward.
Cool. All right. Thank you for joining us today. It's always fun. I love the laughs, the tears. It's always an emotional ride with you. And thank you, everybody, for listening today. Again, go to ColleenWynia.com and connect with Colleen. Clear those things out and learn her 5-point star system so that you can live a well-balanced and motivated life.
Beautiful. Woohoo!
And I looked up at a shooting star, and then I wondered who you are. I just need to know. So I wished upon that shooting star, and then I wondered where you are. Is it destiny, or is it meant to be? Something we cannot hide. Help us to And I looked up at that shooting star, and then I wondered who you are. I don't know your name, so I wished upon that shooting star, wondering if you feel the same. Is this destiny, or is it meant to be? Take me like a little child in your arms. We can drift away into another
This show has been produced by Depictions Media. Please contact us at depictions.media for more information.